So today we're just going to get right into this video, and it's about this lady who actually got swindled out of a whole bunch of money. It was like $90,000. So they're going to mention the Tinder Swindler, and then they're going to obviously mention her story as well. Real quick, I do want to tell you guys about the Tinder Swindler if you guys don't know or not familiar as much to what that actually is. So on Netflix, there's this show, I believe it's like a documentary kind of piece that they got going on. Documentary slash like true crime investigation, stuff like that. And it's about a guy who they reference him as the Tinder Swindler. Okay. And he's this guy, and all this stuff mostly anyways happened overseas. There were some things that happened like in New York and stuff like that, but mostly it was all overseas. And it's just about this guy who, you know, he would be this perfect, charming guy, loving guy. It was like, oh man, I'm there for you, da da da, whatever. He showed like, hey, I have money. I will meet you at this hotel, an expensive hotel. So he showed like, I'm a wealthy guy. I'm rich. I have a whole bunch of money and I'm charming. What is there not to like, right? But what he does is he'll get it, you know, he'll get with the chick and then be like, you know, I'm great, da da da. Oh my goodness, people are after me. I need money. And then because they know like he has paid them back in the past, they know that he is good for the money. They give him the money and then he never repays them back after it's a large sum to which he gets from them. And then he just keeps repeating that process over and over and over again. And that's why they call him Tinder Swindler, because he met these women over Tinder, which is like a dating app, meetup kind of app thing on your phone. So that's what they're referring to when they're saying Tinder Swindler, because he has, I think it was like $10 million estimated. It could have been more, could have been less, but I think it may have been more than that, that they said in the little documentary piece. So right now I'm actually going to show you the video of this lady who did not know that she was just being swindled out of thousands upon thousands of dollars. And it dawned on her when she seen this little documentary that was on Netflix. So we're going to get into the video and then I'll give my commentary as we go. Okay?
Alert tonight from a woman in Aurora who is saying that a man that she met online swindled her out of more than $90,000.
She believes she is the victim of an online dating scam and wants to warn others to save them from the emotional and financial pain. Our consumer investigative reporter Samantha Chapman with the heartbreaking story tonight.
Well, this woman says it wasn't until she watched the popular Netflix show Tinder Swindler that she realized she was being played. But by that time, she says she had already shelled out her life savings. Kathy from Aurora says after nearly 2 years of staying home during the pandemic, she was lonely.
And that got me to thinking, if something like this happened, you know, again, I don't want to be alone. I want somebody here.
So she decided to try online dating and signed up for Silver Singles, a site for people ages 50 and up. Kathy says she met a handsome, older gentleman who swept her off her feet. What did you like about him?
Everything. I thought I was in love because every time I would hear from him, my heart would just burst open.
She says he wooed her, saying things like, "Good morning, wifey. I hope you had a good night's rest," and "I love you more than you can ever imagine." But she never met her new love in person.
I asked to meet him, and he said, well, I'm leaving for a job up in Toronto, and I have to go quickly. A couple of weeks after he was there, in Toronto supposedly, he said, I need these permits to work here, and I need $5,000.
Kathy says she sent him $5,000 for the permit, then gave him more money after he got into an accident, and even more money for his surgery.
I wound up doing refi and taking out money against my house.
And when he needed more money for his various misfortunes, she says she took out loans and sent him the funds. Kathy says the love of her life sent her a screenshot of his bank account, showing he had the money to pay her back. But one evening, she says her friend recommended she watch the popular Netflix documentary Tinder Swindler, where several women said they lost thousands of dollars to a man they met online.
The man I love was never real.
I'm going, oh my gosh. Everything, matched. I got kicked out of my bank. They closed my account and they were afraid that I was laundering money.
So in total, how much money did you end up sending this guy?
Oh, a little over $92,000.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, in the past 5 years, people have reported losing a staggering $1.3 billion to romance scams, the highest of any FTC fraud category. Steve Burness, president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau, says reports of online dating scams went up during the pandemic. But even with the high numbers, this type of scam is grossly underreported.
Some feel that they're really embarrassed that their family will find out. And some that we've talked to still believe that they exist and they're gonna come out of the woodwork again.
And if you're wondering why we didn't show a picture of Kathy's love interest, well, most of these fraudsters steal photos online, usually from someone attractive to draw you in.
It's always there's a reason they can't meet you, and that's what we call the tip-off to the rip-off.
A sobering realization for this Aurora woman who says she still can't believe she fell in love with a scammer.
He broke my heart. He tore my life apart.
Now the woman you just saw says she is paying back what she can on her loans and
All right. So yeah, as you guys seen, she said I spent a little over $92,000 giving it to this guy because this guy is saying, oh, well, I need permits. I need working permits. Now I'm in Canada. I need working permits. I got into an accident. I got into a crash. Hey, now can you pay for this? Oh, I need this. Hey, can you pay for this? Hey, here's a screenshot of my bank account. I have $512,000 and I have X amount in my savings. Hey, I have the money. I'm good for it. And here's the thing. You have these they're just huge red flags. Because if you have the money, why are you asking somebody else for money? If you have the money, why are you relying on somebody else to give it to you unless you just simply don't have it or you don't want to spend your own money? That's what it is. And a lot of these people, just like in the Tinder Swindler, that documentary piece I showed you and what they showed you a little bit about, it's the same thing. Now, the thing with that one is he actually used his real face, okay? That he actually used himself. He's a very attractive man. He's very stylish and all that. So the way that he scammed was a little different. And over here, there, you have people that you've never met before and you've only messaged them online. You never visually seen them able to actually touch their hand or anything like that. And you just have these people who they'll just charm their way in, just like that. It was that MTV show Catfish. That's really what it is. Now you had some people most people, they weren't really asking for money like that, but you did have those select few that were doing the same thing. And people were giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to these people because of this. And they prey on these kind of people. She was like, man, if the coronavirus pandemic, what if we get something else? Maybe it's another variant, or maybe it's something worse. What if we get something else like this? I don't want to be alone. So they play on people like this. They prey on people like this. And they're playing with people's emotions. Like, you know what? I'm going to, sneak my way in here and I'm going to see what I can do. I want to try to get as much money out of this person as possible without even thinking like you're really hurting this person. This person, this is a real person and you're just like, so I don't care, and that's one of the biggest problems that we have here. People are just preying on other people and, more people, certain people are more susceptible to it than others. I am interested if you guys have watched the show, and because it was just crazy how this guy didn't really get any jail time. I think he may have gotten like 4 months if I'm not mistaken. But it's just really upsetting that these people just getting people's images off the line. And this is what happened in Catfish, because I used to watch it years ago, many times. They'll just get some random persons, usually an attractive, like they said, looking person on there. And they'll pretend to be that person, and then when they see him in person, they look nothing like the image that was there. Or you will have in certain circumstances where, you know, someone message and be like, hey, how come you haven't been returning my calls or something? And the person's like, well, what are you talking about? I've never even met you before, because they use their photos. Just all in all, it's just being safe with it. You know, do you guys think that you will fall for it? Because I mean, you're playing on people's emotions, you know. Would you be susceptible to it? Do you know anyone that has? I would love to hear in the comments down below. And until then.